Hi all, I welcome you to the Building Culture podcast where I invite incredibly smart people who build things. Whether they be engineers, entrepreneurs, programmers, hobbyists or researchers, it does not matter. As long as you're someone who's passionate about building things, I'll find you and podcast you. Hi all, I want to take a brief moment to thank you all personally for supporting this podcast on YouTube and on all major podcast platforms, including Google Podcasts and Spotify. The podcast mainly features interesting people in robotics, artificial intelligence, and entrepreneurship. If you believe that the information that I'm providing might be of benefit to you or to someone you know, it would be really great if you could hit the subscribe button and press the notification icon so that you can get notified on time whenever the next part is out. It would literally take you a second or two to subscribe to the podcast, but it would really mean a lot to me because I can grow the podcast to a level where I can reach more people, invite ever more interesting guests, and have a more meaningful impact. So let's begin now.
So now let's move to the final part where we'll talk about what personally inspired you in your journey, because your journey is also very unique. So let's first start with uh, how did you cultivate your passion in robotics? Because you of course you initially identified robotics to be your primary interest, but how did you cultivate it and maintained it over several years? Because you have had robotics as a constant for a lot of years now. So
I don't know. The main reason is that I learned a fact that if you are not working things that you are not interested, you will suffer. So this is one thing that I personally learned. I'm not sure this is an generic things for everyone, but for me, it's like if I'm not doing the things that I'm interested in, then it will be very difficult for me to do that task. So that's why I plan to stick on to the things that I'm interested in. So I mentioned that in robotics we can incorporate a lot of things like embedded system, electronics, electrical, computer science, mechanical. That area I'm not very interested, but again, nowadays I'm planning to learn some CAD modeling and all. I know something, but planning to update myself. So the reason why I pursue robotics was I can do all these things that I'm interested in, and the challenge is that I have to find my own path. Because imagine like if you are planning to start a consultancy company and you are working for clients abroad, it's not an easy task. Like imagine you are a company who are working abroad. If they have to give a project to you, then you should have a valid profile, you should have necessary skills, and there are a lot of parameters. Actually, it's not very easy. It's not like, hey, give me a project and I will do that, I will do this. It's not like that. There is a validation process, and they will also think about hiring a talent in their side as well. Like if they can hire a talent in their side, they will get a resource on site. So it's so there are a lot of challenges. So the thing is that the entire thing is not an easy thing, like getting a project or something. But so what I'm trying to say is that in order to create our own path, it's actually a very tough journey. So make sure you start this journey. Start this journey with a valid profile, or
doing things you are actually interested in.
actually interested in, and make sure you have a good profile as well. Like if you are directly approach a company in US which is having not valid degree, or valid degree or skills, then they will not accept it. But if you have a good skills, then most probably they will accept it. Or if you have a PhD or masters in robotics, they normally they will look at our profile, right? So they will assume, yeah, you know something, and they will also check our portfolio. So yeah, so mainly my philosophy is that, like, stick on to the things that you are interested in and focus on that, so you will be much proficient in that area. So this is my personal philosophy. I'm not sure this is applies to everyone. Maybe for some people, if they are not interested in some area, and if they start doing something, they are not interested, okay, and gradually they get interest. Gradually that can also happen. So in my case, this interest was there from my childhood, so I was just keeping that. But if you don't have that interest, then you can just create it. Make sure you are doing the things that you are interested in or like to do. Otherwise, it's actually creates stress. So yeah, so that is
So what you're saying is that like make sure you select something that you are really interested and passionate about, and then of course you have to work hard and do the difficult parts of it. But then because you chose something you're really interested in, then it doesn't probably feel that difficult, and you're willing to go through that.
Yeah, and also, like, if you are not interested in anything, then what you can do is you can just select one area domain and keep on working, and some point of time you may create an interest in that area.
Okay,
But
that's
if it
actually
is keep on stressing you, then just look another domain. So just iteration. So passion is not like I mean, I'm not sure that this interest in this technology can come for everyone, or these, because their orientation, their situation will be different. So we can guarantee that everyone will have an interest in robotics or electronics from the childhood, but they can create that interest. So
by sticking with it, you mean?
Yeah.
Like by sticking with it, and eventually you realize
Exactly.
that, yeah, okay, this is actually interesting.
yeah, this is interesting, and so let's go forward. Yeah.
But if one doesn't still find that interesting, then switch to another thing
Yes,
and
yes,
try it again.
yes. So passion doesn't matter. I mean, if you don't have any passion, that is pretty okay.
Okay.
So just keep on iterating. Just do different things, and I think in some area you will get some interest, and just focus on that. But don't focus on the area that you are not interested, because it will stress you for sure. So that's it. Yeah.
So if you had to choose between one of those two traits, like passion versus hard work, which one would you choose?
Yeah, it's actually both. It's a combination actually. Like I can say it from my experience. So if you have an interest in something, you will keep on working. I'm not saying it's a workaholic, but maybe the thing is, you will keep on working and you will spend a lot of time on that subject. So and the good thing is that you will not feel stressed. That is the good thing about passion. Like, if you have a passion and if you start doing things, you will not feel the stress, and the time will simply pass. It's like a meditation. Like if you
Okay, that's
meditate,
interesting.
if you meditate, you are in the present situation, present moment, right? But
Yeah.
if you are doing the things that you are interested in, you are like the same thing that you're like the same situation that you are meditating. So you are completely focused into that, and you can do a lot of things into that. So passion, if you have a passion, I think normally the hard work will be there. But if you don't have passion, then work hard first, then you will come eventually into the passion.
Yeah,
So
that's a very practical advice actually. And also one specific thing that you mentioned, which I've never heard before, is that when you have a passion of something, then like the work is meditative.
yeah, so there is a story behind that. It's actually like I got this from my friend. So he used to meditate a lot, and so it's very difficult for me to meditate. So I asked him, so I can't able to meditate, so what should I do? So he said, I am actually doing work, I mean 2 to 3, I mean continuously on my laptop, without any distraction. I'm keep on working it. So he said this is a kind of meditation. Like in meditation, what happening is that we are simply sit, and we are in the present moment. We don't have any like we are not thinking about anything.
Distractions,
Yeah, distraction. We
thoughts.
are only
Yeah,
thinking about one thing, maybe only focusing on one thing. The same
focusing
thing,
on
yeah,
one.
the same thing applicable for this passionate job. You
Mm.
are only focusing on one thing, nothing is distracting you. So it's kind of meditation. And I felt this actually during some time, like we will not feel that the time is passing, like we are doing it, we are very focused on that task, and we will be very productive as well.
Mm.
But nowadays it's very difficult to keep focus because of the effect of social media and all. There are a lot
Yeah.
of distraction, and also the work from home is also a problem. Like you can get a
Mm.
call from our mom or wife or kids or any, you get a chance of distraction. So once we distract, then it will take some time to come into that meditative
State.
state. So a lot of challenges, but that's why nowadays I'm working at night, so that there is no distraction. But again, it's actually a very problematic. I will be like I mean wake up late.
Mm.
So yeah, so there are a lot of compromises we have to do. Maybe sometime we will not reach that meditative state. We have to work as a work with some distraction, but that is fine. But what what I'm saying is we can reach that state as well, if you
Mm.
are very passionate on that area. Yeah.
Yeah, there's this book called Flow. Maybe you've heard about it, and the author actually speaks about this state that you experience once you are like totally engaged in an activity. It
Yes.
doesn't need to be like robotics or programming. Some
Exactly.
people experience it while running,
Yeah.
during sports and other things. So this is the state that you are talking
Exactly,
about, isn't it?
exactly. And I will not say it is. I mean, it is. It will not come every time, but it
Yeah,
will
yeah.
come sometime when you are completely focused and completely interested to do something. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because I mean, like I'm also in this field, so I know that like sometimes when I'm programming, like 3 4 hours go away, and I'm
yeah,
like, yeah, I'm totally into that. But sometimes it wouldn't come, and
yeah,
this state is like really, it's I don't know, it's fulfilling, so to say.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Yes.
so basically, what you're saying is that once you have a passion, you can experience this state. So I think this is a really important point. But you can't really rely on it all the time. You still have to like push yourself and work hard because there are distractions everywhere.
Yes, yes. The importance of this focus is that, like, we have to taken care of our health, right? For example, if we are spending time maybe uh, 2 to 3 hours completely stressed on the chair, I will say you will die early because like you are stressing your body for like long hour, maybe 9 to 5. You are completely stressing, then you are actually killing yourself, right? Even there are problem with sitting as well, like prolonged sitting is actually not good for our health. So like ergonomic, so what they are saying, like after maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour you have to at least walk,
Okay.
at least do a walk, or like spend 5 or 10 minutes. So there are a lot of issue. Mainly we should be healthy always, right? So if we have stress emotionally, or if we have stress, then that can affect our mind and also our physical health. can affect. And if we sit a long time, that's also can create problems. So the sitting problem that we can solve, but the stressing problem, that is very difficult to solve. So that for in order to not do the stressing, this area, this passion or interest is very important.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's actually very interesting because you have like a very deep analysis of these things as well. Like you spend some time thinking about these things. Of course, they are based on your experience and all these things.
uh, if I am like stressing myself, even if I am passionate in some area, and if I'm stressing myself, then I am in trouble. My health will be in trouble. My maybe if we stress ourselves, like then the cortisol hormone, I think that will
Yeah.
increase, and it can increase the cholesterol, pressure, everything. So we should be happy, or we should be like feel bliss always if you do job. So that is very important. Otherwise this job will kill you like gradually.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Maybe we will get money, but we will.
Makes sense, yeah. And but like you've always tried different things. After a few years, you switch to something some different way. So like you're doing your startup, then writing books, consulting, speaking at different places, all these things. So of course there would still be stress along the way. Then how do you deal with stress? Apart from of course you have a passion for these, so this is still easier, but still like if there are phases or stressful phases, how do you deal with that, those? You mentioned meditation, do you still do meditation, or how do you deal with the stressful phases?
What you said was correct. Like even we are doing, even if we are doing passionate things, we will have stress, not because of the job, but because maybe a lot of things to stress, maybe personal reasons, or other lot of other reasons. So I'm not a meditative person. I am only meditating maybe during work, maybe, yeah, if that happen. And how to avoid stress, I'm not sure. Like maybe if it is too stressing for me, maybe I will take a break, maybe 1 or 2 days. Then I will go for a trip or something, small trip or something. Then maybe some watching some movies. So normal things, normal
Yeah.
things. I don't have any magic things to do.
Just
I
taking
mean,
breaks.
some breaks maybe. Yeah, so that is the only thing I can do. So yeah, very normal things I will do and avoid those kind of stressing as well. Like we can't predict what kind of situation that we will face tomorrow. Okay, so like maybe we can decide, you can avoid those kind of situation. For example, if you have any some issue with some person, that issue can be in your head, and it can distract you. Like if I have some vengeance to you, then I will have that in my mind, and that can distract me. So that is not good actually. The it's not doing any good. It's actually only distracting me. So I have to make some decision, not to like not create any problem with others or something like that. So yeah, so we have to decide a lot of things to avoid these distraction and stress, mainly personal things, like a lot of personal things that we can't able to manage, that I think we have to act intelligently more than emotionally. So that is very important, I guess. So if you have any stress or depression, you can solve it by yourself. And if you think you can't solve by yourself, then obviously I think seek some help from friends or some doctors or something.
Professional
That is
help.
actually, yeah, professional, because that is mandatory. Otherwise, imagine if you are in a depression, and if you feel to I mean suicide or something, ultimately you are losing your life, right? You are
Yeah.
going to lose your life. So immediately, take some professional consultation from some doctors. So nowadays, while working with, working from home and all, there are a lot of chances of distraction, and due to COVID, there are a lot of chance for depression and all. So don't hesitate if you have any issue with the depression. Just consult, or just talk to your friends personally, and talk to your parents very closely. Then, if that doesn't solve the issue, then take some consultation.
Yeah, I think that is a very important point that you laid, because, like, of course, during COVID, it's stressful when you are, because there's like no clear end mark of working. Like, you could be working more, because there's like no, yeah, the work timings are over, and so I can relax. So it can interfere with the personal stuff and everything. And generally also, like, I mean, if you're doing a startup, if you're involved in a startup, all these kinds of things, then seeking professional help is something that is important if you're struggling with these depressive issues or something. So
Nowadays,
this.
the COVID situation, a lot of uncertainty in job market, also like in startup and everything.
Hmm.
So yeah, so first, what I will do is, initially, if I have any issues or stress or something, then I will try to solve myself. I will seek, I will talk to my friends, then family. Then I didn't have any situation to seek help from professionals, because that is actually last stage
Hmm.
depression. So I used to maximum try to avoid that in some way, the ways that I know. I will take a break or watch some movies or something. But if I have any depression, maybe in future, I will obviously consult with my some psychiatrist or psychologist. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. And that is a very important point that you laid. So knowing that these things that you're trying have their own challenges, so to say. Why did you actually choose to start your own business the first time with Cubotics? Because you could also switch to a different company or do uh, masters or something. So and also because financially it's probably more risky to start your own business. So what was your motivation that, yeah, okay, I could try to do my own business now?
Yeah, again, a good question. So, again, I will say it just happened. When I working with my first company, after a few years, I thought like, what about doing something different? And also at that time, I had some personal issues as well, like with my family and all. So I thought like, why should I take a break and do some other things? So that was one of the main reason. So I have to do some other things rather than the regular 9 to 5 job.
Okay.
So what I did was I resigned from the company and took a break. I think about 1 month. Then I started taking freelancing projects to survive. Then yeah, then gradually my parents talked to me like, uh, why can't you start a company by yourself, like register a company and make it legal, something. So I thought, yeah, maybe I can do this. And it's all happened gradually based on my situations. Even when I start my company, I had some projects. I had some few projects to run the company. So it was actually happening very gradually, not because of. I had some financial issues are there, and also
Hmm.
like the personal issues are also there at that time. So I have to took a break and do some other things. Then in order to survive, I have to do some freelancing work, and in that time I got some good clients as well. So luckily. I got good clients. So that's why I got a courage to start the company. And also before starting the company, I got a chance to write a book as well. So from the book, I will get some money to survive. Like we will get uh, some money as a
A
I mean, before
stipend?
writing, yes, stipend. Yeah, it's called advance royalty.
Okay. Ah, yeah,
Yeah,
royalty.
advance royalty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually advance royalty. So it will be deducted after selling the books.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so these things are by getting some money from the clients and also from the book, I could able to survive in the initial year, that is 2014. After that, I started getting like few projects and also books. Yeah, so these revenue actually helped me to run.
Hmm. Yeah. So moving to the last set of questions. So what impact do you want to have by means of your work?
Yeah, so till now, I think uh, I didn't. I don't think I have created some unique stuff, mainly like unique robots or something. But the impact that I can say is that till now, the impact I think from my books, maybe a lot of people maybe start working with this platform and maybe start working with robotics maybe. Yeah, that is only the thing that I can say. Then from my talks or from my workshops, maybe someone may get some spark to start with robotics. So till now, I think in the span of 11 years, maybe I could create some robot enthusiasts. Yeah, that's it. That's all I could able to do. Maybe in future, I'm not sure. I can able to do something different. But so far, I could able to do this much. Like I could able to write books and after and some talks as well. So uh, during this time, I could influence some people and also guide some students who want to pursue robotics career. So I could able to guide them. So yeah,
So so guiding and inspiring students to into robotics.
that is the only impact that I'm personally seeing. In future, I'm not sure. I am actually like to contribute a lot of things in open source. Because of time limitation, I can't able to do it now. But if I'm like financially settled, if this corona effect and if everything is goes smoothly, then maybe I'm planning to start working with some open source project and contributing much into open source. So I'm mainly very interested in working with open source projects. So that is again one of my passion, like contributing and working with open source projects collaborations. So that is one thing that I'm planning to do in future.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
So
Yeah.
finally,
So
what is
finally,
one
what is
career
one
advice that you
career
would want
advice
to
that you would
give
want to
for
give for
students who are
students who
interested
are
in
interested in
robotics but
robotics but
are not sure how
are
to
not
start?
sure how to
General career
start?
advice,
General
or
career
if
advice,
they're
or
already
if
into
they're
robotics
already
as well.
into robotics as well. Yeah, so my main advice will be like if you are like financially good, then don't directly jump into job now. Maybe after bachelor's, maybe you can pursue masters in the subject that you are really interested in. If it is robotics, just do some formal, get some formal education. The advantage of formal education is that you are actually learning on site, right? In university, you are like you have a professor and they can guide you. So it is very different than like learning from mocks and all. So if you are a good financial background, just try to do masters. Then you can decide after getting some knowledge from this domain. You can decide you need a job or something. But after masters, if you are in a good financial situation, if you have a time, I will say invest in studies, maybe PhD. So you will have more exposure in this domain. Then after PhD, I think that will be a good time to decide whether you need an industry or academia. If you are in academia, I think postdoc will be the good option. Then assistant professor. Then if it is an industry, then you can apply to some research post in maybe startups or big companies, or you can plan a startup as well. Like you can plan for a product and funding. Yeah, a lot of people are doing that after PhD. So this is my opinion. But if you are not in a good financial situation, then what I will say is that like you can keep on gather knowledge about robotics, keep on learning robotics from web or some massive online courses. Then there are a lot of free courses available, free books available. Try to learn by yourself. There are standard lectures maybe from IIT or some lot of institutions provide free lectures. So try to learn from that and improve your skills. And I will say if you have good skill, contribute on open source, create some open source projects by your own, then that will give you good visibility. Then that can also help you to get a good job. So visibility is one thing. So keep on working on different projects and keep on. Be active in the community, in the robotics community. So I think you will get good opportunity from industry. So that is one advice if you are not in a good financial situation.
Yeah, I think that's a very practical, in-depth advice for that is applicable to people from all stages of their learning, basically. So thanks a lot, Lentin, for the really wonderful conversation that we had today, and we talked about everything ranging from your personal story, your personal history and background, your experience, and about and in depth about what you do actually, and the impact that you want to do about reaching meditative states while doing robotics projects and stuff like that. So I think it was a really wonderful conversation, and I really learned a lot and enjoyed talking to you. And I wish you all the best for the new book that you would be launching, and for all coming endeavors that you have. And hopefully we can probably also collaborate in the future for another podcast after some time.
I started with the podcast, I had some fear in my mind because even today is Sunday, right? So I was not very prepared, frankly speaking, because I actually went to airport and reached home. So I was not very, what I will say,
Ready for
prepared, ready.
Yeah.
But so I had some confusion, or I was a little fear because whether I can do it properly. But when I started, and I think one of the reason was you actually ask right questions. I think that was the correct way. I will say. You actually ask correct questions in a very orderly manner.
Hey guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this particular conversation and it helped you in some way, shape or form. If it did, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification icon or the bell icon so that you can get notified on time whenever the next part is out. Also, it would be really great if you could give me your feedback in the comments below. That would really help me improve. I'm uploading small clips of the long podcasts on a regular basis on platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram, so make sure to follow me on these platforms if you're someone who cannot take out time for the long episodes. The podcasts are also available on all major podcast platforms including Spotify and Google Podcasts.